Coach, defense has been pretty solid for you guys for the first 8 games this season. Obviously not the case tonight. Can you attribute that to anything, or was it just kind of a snowball effect, one of those nights?
You know, in my mind, that's 4 games in a row where we've kind of beat ourselves. We addressed that as a team shortly after the game, that we got a chance to be okay if we quit beating ourselves. And I think at the end of the day, when you don't do the fundamental things right, it gets exposed, you know, time and time again. PFP stuff, simple stuff that you know, uncharacteristic errors that a couple of our guys made tonight that are, it's like, man, you know, I get it, you're not going to be perfect, but to have a couple ground balls go right between our wickets and drop balls at first base and yipping the ball to second on a comebacker, I mean, that's stuff that's just embarrassing. So, you know, would we say hockey 10 unearned runs? Pretty damn tough to do, you know, at this level. So, but we found a way to do it tonight. Anyway, that's stuff that has to be cleaned up. If we can do that, we got a chance to be okay. But you know, at the end of the day, we can't beat ourselves and continue to do this and expect to be the team we want to be. So, you know, we can talk about it, we can drill it, we can do everything we do day in and day out. But at some point in time, you got to go out and execute it in the game. So if you can't do that, we're not going to win.
2 out base runners for UCI tonight. Obviously, that was kind of the story, it felt like, of tonight's game. Has there been any talk about making sure guys understand that finishing innings are really, really important? And if so, how is that kind of lacking tonight?
Well, I think it's how those guys got on, you know, is what's important to look at. You're going to give up hits every now and again, but it's when, you know, a guy makes an error or a guy, you know, walks a guy with 2 outs or however it is, we have to be mentally tougher on the mound to be able to overcome that. And that's, to me, what's most disappointing that I saw tonight is just, you know, one pitch that an umpire may or may not have missed doesn't dictate the whole inning. And to me, you got to be tougher than that mentally to just keep attacking the zone and going right after the next pitch. You can't let one call that you thought was, you know, a bad call take you out of your whole entire inning. We got to be a little bit more mature than that. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case tonight. So, you know, I think that, again, am I expecting our guys to play flawless defense every single day? No, I'm not. There's going to be errors. That's part of the game, but you got to be able to bounce back and overcome from that. And that, to me, was the most disappointing thing about tonight is we made, like I said, uncharacteristic mistakes, but we weren't able to stop the bleeding after those happened. One thing snowballed to the next, and we didn't stop the bleeding.
With what you were saying about letting an inning crash after like a missed call, or what was perceived to be a missed call, were you referencing? I think it was the second inning when Ross had that pitch set up inside, didn't call, moved to a full count.
I don't know exactly what pitch it was, but I know there was some complaining and moaning over something, and to me, I just, like, look, man, he might have missed a couple pitches for us and them. I mean, those guys aren't trying to miss pitches on purpose. You know, if it gets too bad, obviously I'll have to go and have a short night. So, but you know, for me, it's you know, like I said, we got to be a little bit better than that. Even if it was a pitch, okay, execute the next one. You can't let that take you out of your game. So, you know, that part of it is just, we have some maturing to do on you know, and not just him, but we got several guys that need to grow up a little bit and understand that, man, borderline calls, sometimes you're going to get them, sometimes you're not. It's on to the next pitch and win the next pitch. So we have to be able to do a better job of that.
Really, what was your thoughts on the kind of hitting tonight? Because it seemed like you guys had 3 solo home runs, and you know, it seemed like when base runners got it was hard to get them across the plate.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's something we obviously got to do a better job of as well. I felt our 2-strike approach was a little bit better tonight. You know, we had a couple of 2-strike, actually a couple of 2-strike home runs, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, we're still punching out a little too much to my liking. But at the end of the day, we're we're starting to get more and more base runners, you know, which is good. It's a matter of time for, you know, if we continue to get base runners, we're going to hopefully put up some crooked numbers throughout a game. So, you know, to that part of it, I guess if you could take some positive out of tonight, the hitting was a little bit better. I think we put up 15 hits. So from that standpoint, at least our approach was a little bit better tonight. But like I said, I go back to the last 4 games that we've lost, or I guess we didn't lose on Tuesday, but it felt like we did. You know, they've all been big innings that we've given up and not able to keep it small.
Teating, I mean, he had a couple hiccups today, but he looked pretty good again. What have you sort of seen from him? He seems like he's kind of been one of the go-to guys first out of the pen most nights. What has been key for him?
You know, Matty, when he's good, he attacks the zone and has a lot of movement. So guys have a hard time squaring him up. When he's good, the ball's dancing a little bit. He's got some good sink on his ball. You know, tonight, aside from the first inning, when he came in relief, I think the next two or three innings or so there, he was, you know, very efficient, you know, throwing strikes, getting ground balls on first, second pitches, and, you know, attacking the zone. So, you know, he has a chance to eat up some innings like he did, you know, when he's on. So, you know, we'll continue to utilize that.
Ryan highlighted the self-inflicted wounds before you came in here, and I know you talked about, you know, a lot of it is just telling them, hey, you know, keep it up, because, you know, stop making these mistakes. And it comes down to execution. But how do you get to that point where they start to execute in the field? Is it just repeated to keep on telling them, you know, to fix yourself and hope eventually it clicks, or is there another technique that you try to use?
Sure. If you got any ideas, let me know. We've drilled it to death. We've talked about it verbally. I think it's just a lack of concentration, you know, or letting the moment get too big, which I don't. To me, I'll just stick with the lack of concentration, because I think that's all it is. You tell me we're not capable of throwing the ball 47 feet to second base, or catching the ball as we're touching first base, I'll call you a liar. They're capable of doing that. It's just a lack of concentration at sometimes. So we got to do a better job of locking in and understanding that, man, the inning and the play isn't over until it's executed and it's over. You know, you got to concentrate through the play. So, you know, that's something I can't help with. You know, we can drill it to death and talk about it, but at some point in time, you got to take the training wheels off and go do it.
You talked about the lack of energy being probably your main point of frustration on Wednesday. Was that better today, and it was just kind of a matter of nothing rolled into the game, or was it the same kind of lack of intensity?
No, I think it was a better intensity today. You know, and then we, like I said, we were one big hit away from there in the 6th inning from making that a game real quick again. You know, we were behind 11-2 and inched back and made it, you know, 11-6, and we had 2 guys in scoring position right there to make it a big hit right there. It's 11-8, and now it's, you know, they're on the ropes a little bit. So, you know, with momentum, and we probably go to Stevenson right there, and I like our chances of putting up zeros the last 3 innings, and you know, with momentum, who knows what happens there. So, you know, that part of it, you know, we did battle back, but, you know, then again, we self-inflicted wounds there in the 7th, and it kind of took the wind back out of the sails again. So, you know, it's the energy was a little bit better. It's just, you know, the uncharacteristic, if you want to call it that, uncharacteristic mistakes did us in.
Will, after a couple of tough at-bats, got pulled early. What went into that, if anything, that we can sort of see on the field?
Will's battling the flu. So he wanted to try and gut it out and play. He's earned the right to do that, and he said he was up last night with a little bit of a bug, and you know, I said, hey man, you good to go? And he's like, yeah, I'll be fine. I'll gut it out, I'll be fine. And after I saw the 2 at bats, it's just he wasn't locked in mentally, and I think that was hampering it. So I made the decision to take him out and just say, you know, go rest and hopefully be ready to go tomorrow. And if we have to sit him again tomorrow to wait till Sunday, we'll do that. But main thing was I wasn't seeing the Will Rogers that's competitive, you know, during those 2 at bats. So, you know, and I didn't think it was fair for him to continue running him out there.
Are you planning on rolling out Owen tomorrow or Sunday, or is he going to get a start in Oklahoma?
You know, we've been going back and forth on what to do with that. You know, obviously the most important game is tomorrow, so we'll see what that brings. You know, hopefully we get a good start from Curtis tomorrow, and then we'll go from there and see how the game unfolds. But you know, he's on red alert tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, then Sunday, and if not Sunday, then hey, we got a pretty good starter to go against Okie State midweek. So, but make no mistake, he's a big piece of what we're doing, and he's a capable starter. He's capable of starting on Friday night, so that might be a role for him later.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.